For 1,000 years, one man emerges from the depths of the sand of the earth to bring forth wonders and pain among this world. A man so powerful, his work can strike love and hate into the hearts of all mankind. Legends say the only way to defeat this man is to analyze his work, to inform which art is worthy and which is suffering. Join us as we take a look at the one, the only, Adam Sandler.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the currently titled Sandman Chronicles, which is currently titled because I don't know if we're actually going to keep this title or not. But anyway, this is going to be the best Adam Sandler podcast, where every episode we will be discussing an Adam Sandler film. My name is Matt, and my other host's name is...
Allie.
Yes, and we're going to be taking an Adam Sandler film, and we will be discussing it in length for every episode, or two, depending on whether or not there's enough material to work with. So why don't we describe kind of why we have started this podcast? Let's talk about our love of Adam Sandler. Allie, you can go first because I think you're a little bit more obsessed with him than I am.
Okay, well, I'm a huge Adam Sandler apologist. I have seen a lot of his movies, and I know that he is a really great actor, and he can do really great work when he wants to. And I'm of the opinion that a lot of his newer movies are bad because he just doesn't really care anymore. But then you see things like Uncut Gems, and that just shows you like he has the chops. He just needs the motivation. I'm pretty excited to watch more of his earlier stuff because watching Going Overboard, which we'll get into in a minute, kind of is testing my faith in him a little bit, but you'll see about that.
Yeah, my history with Adam Sandler is complicated. So my family are very large Adam Sandler people. They love almost all of his movies, I would say, except for his dramas, ironically. Like, they're not Punch Drunk Love, well, they like Uncut Gems, but they're not Punch Drunk Love people or anything like that. And when I was in middle school, I was like really obsessed with Adam Sandler, and I like just kept recording all of his movies whenever they would come on TV, and I would like watch a ton of Adam Sandler stuff. And then in high school, I started watching more of his newer movies, and then I realized, well, I have mixed opinions because part of me is like, he doesn't care anymore. But then another part of me is like, does he just keep doing this because that just makes money? You know what I mean? Like, because in some of his newer movies, he seems like he doesn't really want to be there. And other times it seems like he has a little bit more passion in it, but they're like still just as bad. So I don't know if he's just maybe lost his comedic chops when it comes to movies, or if he really is just like kind of lazy, understands what makes money. He pretty much has admitted like he will just make movies in like nice locations just so they can go on like vacation there. There's a part of me that respects that, and there's a part of me that's like, come on, dude, what are you doing? But I love Adam Sandler. I think he's a very interesting character, and I just wanted to take a deep dive through all of his work and see how, if there is technically more quality than shit, you know? So, yeah, that's pretty much going to be the basis for this podcast. So we have a couple rules about what exactly we're going to be covering on this show. So rule number 1, it has to star Adam Sandler. And what I mean is Adam Sandler has to be like either the main character, or if it is an ensemble movie, he has to play like a very large or major part. So we're not doing Zookeeper just because he plays a monkey in like 2 scenes, and we're not doing the hot chick just because he shows up for like 5 minutes. We're not doing that. Number 2, I think this goes without saying, it has to actually be a movie. We're not critiquing any SNL appearances he did, and we're not talking about any TV guest appearances, nothing like that. Third, we're going to try to be doing them in order. That unfortunately seems like that probably is not going to happen, mostly because we literally cannot find Airheads anywhere. It's not on any streaming site. I can't even really figure out a way to buy the DVD that seems like not sketch. So we may have to skip that one, unfortunately. But for the most part, we're going to try to do these in order unless a new Adam Sandler movie comes out. Then we're going to be reviewing that one as soon as possible. I think right now, there's no other way to do this. We're going to rip off the Band-Aid. Let's get into Adam Sandler's first ever movie in general, Going Overboard. So, Allie, before we kind of do a large deep dive, what are your initial overall thoughts? Have you had any history with this movie at all?
I had never heard of it until a few weeks ago. And I'm just going to say it like outright. It's not really worth the watch. Again, I'm a big Adam Sandler apologist, but I was so like overwhelmingly bored and just wanted to turn it off the entire time.
You were going overwhelmingly bored?
Yeah, like I wanted to turn it off so much. After the first like 20-30 minutes, the novelty wears off and it's not worth it. Don't waste your time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree 100%. I hated this a lot. I think I'm gonna call it now, and I don't want to get too preemptive. I think this will probably be the worst movie that we cover, maybe except for like Jack and Jill and stuff. But like everything about this was just so like annoying and tedious, and I half the time I don't even understand what the joke is supposed to be, or like how anyone finds this funny. And I just feel like through half the movie they just kind of gave up, but we can get more into that later. It was directed by Valerie Breeman, so we have a female director. She was also responsible for writing the movie along with Adam Sandler. So Adam Sandler is to partially blame for this, as with Valerie Breeman. I don't know who Scott LaRose and Adam Rifkin are, but whoever they are, go fuck yourselves, because you're also responsible for this. It stars Adam Sandler. Burt Young is in it. Billy Zane is in it. Billy Bob Thornton is in it for one scene. David Povenmire, creator of Phineas and Ferb and the voice of Dr. Doofenshmirtz, is in it. I don't even know who he was. I'm just reading the cast list right now. Stephen Brill, who I think is a director now. Peter Berg, who directed like Hancock and Friday Night Lights and all this other stuff. And then, yeah, that's pretty much all the people I give a shit about. Oh, and whatever. Who is that one famous comedian that was in it?
Milton Berle.
Milton Berle. That's right. Yeah. Allie, why don't you describe the plot of this movie?
Okay, well, I believe it's meant to be a kind of down on his luck. What was his job title? He was
I think he was like just a waiter.
Yeah.
Right?
A waiter on a cruise ship who dreams of being a comedian and also struggles with women. And he's trying to make people laugh.
Allie, I don't want to interrupt you, but shouldn't we mention that none of this is real?
Okay, I was a little bit confused about that.
I don't understand that either, but well, I guess describe that quickly before we even get into the movie.
I'm not sure I really can, because I was a little bit confused. It's like he's talking, Adam Sandler's character, which is his name's like
Shecky Moskowitz.
Shecky is constantly talking into the camera, which from the very beginning, from the get-go, he's talking to the camera, which I originally thought was just, him having an aside or whatever. But it turns out that one of the characters is watching it on a TV screen the whole time. I'm not sure.
So it starts off with that character, and he's going through like, and this is going to sound so confusing, but there's really no other way we can describe it. But the movie literally begins with him looking through this character played by Burt Young, who you later find out is a general of some like a country or whatever. He's like also kind of like a terrorist. Like I think he's like starting a coup in his own country. But this character is going through porno tapes, and then he comes across a tape called The Unsinkable Shecky Mouskowitz, and then he puts it in, and then it's just Going Overboard, which is like, okay, what is this movie called? Going Overboard or The Unsinkable Shecky Mouskowitz? So that is already confusing. And then throughout the movie, there are these like asides where it's like a collection of interviews. It reminded me of like a really bad like Wes Anderson style kind of characterization where like he'll have people like talking to the cameras and stuff, and it'll be like quick cuts of like everyone. It's like a little montage thing. They do that with like beauty pageant girls who you see in like one scene, and then like the only one that plays a role in the movie is Miss Australia. They're all like talking like, yeah, you know, I would never date a guy that looked like Shecky Mouskowitz or whatever. He's so ugly and all this shit. And then the movie begins, and then Adam Sandler is on a cruise. That's it. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. Like it just doesn't. I don't. It's so bizarre. I feel like a lot of like the fourth wall stuff, like because he talks to the fourth wall a lot, like to the point where it's just like it feels like they're just making excuses for why the movie is so bad. Like, hey, maybe if he talks to the camera, we can play it off like, aha, this is so low budget, we can't even afford a real cruise ship or something like that, because a lot of it feels like it was just kind of tacked on in the end.
It felt like they were trying to make it like ironic, to make it like funny still, but it was just bad. Yeah,
and I just feel like a lot of the movie was improvised, unfortunately, but I don't know how good Adam Sandler is at improv. But it's like,
if we just use this movie as evidence, then he's terrible at it.
Yes, exactly. There's a scene where, okay, so Adam Sandler, he wants to be a stand-up comedian, but he sucks. He's like really terrible. And that the joke, I guess that's just the main joke, is that he's just shit at comedy, but like it's not funny because he's just telling like really bad jokes over and over again. There's this comedian called Dickie Diamond, and he's the ship's comedian, and everyone loves him. He's so funny, but he's also like a big asshole. And Adam Sandler runs into him at the bar, and then he tries like begging him basically to let him on stage, and it goes on for like 10 minutes, like one shot, uninterrupted, no one called cut, and it feels like they're trying to save face, and it's like, Adam Sandler, please go up and say something funny, and you can do like witty banter and stuff. And it was just like they had nothing to work with. Every scene feels like it goes on for like 20 minutes longer than it needs to, you know? Like there's just nothing. There's just literally nothing. Do you have any positives about this movie?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't even think I even like chuckled like ironically at a single joke.
I really wanted to like it. I really did.
I did too, but it like I'll be honest, the movie almost felt like it was like trying to get me not to like it.
Yeah.
Like at every single thing. Like even when I wanted to give it credit for something, like it would just throw like another shit joke.
It felt like every character was very unlikable. The jokes never landed. Nobody had any chemistry. It was just awkward the whole time.
And then they would do stuff where like they would tell a joke and they would add like the ba-dum, tss, like unironically. It's like, I don't understand like what you're trying to do right now. This movie is like a rated R, I'm pretty sure, but like when you add those stuff in, it's like, is this made for like literal children? Like, I don't understand. Like, what audience is this even aimed after?
That's actually what I was thinking too. I don't know, like, what target this was meant to hit. I don't know who they were making the movie for, because it really didn't even feel like the people who made the movie. Like, I honestly really doubt that Adam Sandler and company really thought that they were doing a good job. Like, I don't think any of them thought the movie was funny themselves. So I'm not sure, like, who they were making it for.
Yeah, I mean, there's that line he says at the beginning where he's, oh no, it's like towards the middle where he's like, hey, check out these hot babes, and then it's just like for like a minute, it just like shows a montage of closes up of girls' asses and stuff. So it's like, is it trying to go for like those sex comedies in the 80s that are like, hey, we're not like porn, but you can get away with watching this and stuff? And like, I don't even know, because it's not even that half the time. It's just him fucking around on a cruise until the I guess the closest thing that comes to a plot happens like 40 something minutes into this movie, into this hour 37-minute movie. Dickie Diamond, he gets like locked in a bathroom stall or something, and his hat flies off overboard, ironically, and everybody thinks he's dead. He's like, oh my god, he fell off, that's crazy. And then, oh, we don't have a comedian. And then Adam Sandler is like, oh, I can be the comedian. And then he just goes up and bombs because he's a bad comedian. Oh, there was only one funny joke that I legitimately chuckled at. So Billy Bob Thornton, he doesn't have a role. He's in here for like one scene, and he's an audience member. And Adam Sandler, so what do you do for a living? And he's like, construction. And he's like, oh, like constructing what? Like buildings? And Billy Bob Thornton's like, well, what the fuck else would I construct? And that got the only laugh out of me the entire movie. That's not good. That's like really not a good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know if I would have found that funny if it wasn't for like the first 40 minutes of just pure garbage.
The worst part about the real plot not starting until 40 minutes in is for me, I lost my enthusiasm like right when the actual story began. Like for the first 40 minutes, I really was trying to give it a chance, and I honestly kind of did enjoy it in the beginning just because of the novelty. Like, oh, this is a bad movie, it might be fun to watch. But then after about 40 minutes, I was like, no, this is not fun to watch. It's just bad. So I really did not care about the next hour of the movie at all.
Yeah, there were a lot of times when I was like, I need to turn this off. Like, I was debating about being like, yeah, we should skip this one, but I can't. Once I start something, I finish it, you know? And what Adam Sandler podcast would we be if we just said, no, this one is too bad? We wouldn't be true Sandlians if that was the case, you know? We got to stick through it.
Sandlians? I've never heard that.
Sandlians. Well, we're making it up. I don't know. What do Adam Sandler fans call themselves?
The Sandman.
The Sandman? Okay, we wouldn't be true Sandmen if we didn't. What else even happened in this movie? Oh, okay. So we mentioned how there's a general guy who's watching this entire movie on his TV. During the montages of all of the Miss USA, Miss Australia, Miss Argentina, Miss Australia says, you know, I really disagree with General Norwegia about what he's doing to his own people. And then General Norwegia, who is watching the movie, is like, what the fuck? And he calls in two terrorists, and they're like, yo, go to this cruise ship and kill this bitch. And then they just find the cruise ship because they put a boat out into the middle of the sea. And the movie, I guess, is now real at this point, and he's watching it on television because it's happening simultaneously. But even though the movie is now at this point real, Adam Sandler still talks to the camera. Adam Sandler goes on stage, I think for like the second time, and he just fucking bombs again. And then he's like, what would Milton Berle do? Because Milton Berle is a famous comedian. And then lo and behold, he runs into Milton Berle at the ship's dining place. And Milton Berle is just like, oh, you could be funny here. And then he like writes him a bunch of jokes. And then Adam Sandler just steals them and then goes on stage and then kills it. So it's like he didn't even learn anything. Yeah, he just stole this man's jokes.
I think it's worth mentioning that one, Miss Australia offends the general not by what she says about his like politics, but she says that his breath smells.
That's
And
right. Yeah.
that's what makes him angry enough to send people out to try to go kill her.
Right. I mean, that's fair. I'm pretty incensed. I'm pretty insecure about my breath. If someone did that, I'd send my fucking military out to the middle of the ocean to. He doesn't even give them coordinates. He's just like, go find this ship.
And then they literally do.
Yeah, they literally just go into the middle of the ocean and they're like, okay, we found it. But without those characters, we wouldn't have gotten that 10 witty minutes of banter when they're on that one boat and they're trying to find the cruise ship. Wasn't that funny?
It was hilarious.
The terrorists get on the boat. They try to kill Miss Australia, who, even though she is the girlfriend of a Dickie Diamond, who I guess at this point she thinks he's dead, but in reality he's just starving in the bathroom. Adam Sandler's friend gets with Miss USA. They fall in love with each other. Adam Sandler is just like completely irrelevant at this point. And then once the terrorists attack, Adam Sandler is like, oh, I can stop them with my comedy. And then that's when he finally learns to become funny. And then he gets the terrorists on the stand-up stage and he starts cracking jokes and the terrorists start laughing. And I'm going to be honest, I fucking forget what happens after that. It's been like a couple weeks since I've seen this.
Well, he's doing stand-up when they arrive. And he's actually so distracted because he has the sort of vision, I guess, of Milton Berle giving him advice. And then he comes back to reality and he starts making jokes and everyone loves it. So he is a big hit for about 30 seconds. And then the terrorists come onto the boat, guns blazing, everyone starts to run. And Adam Sandler is so distracted by his newfound comedic skills that he doesn't even notice, and he has to be like whisked away by his friend, and he ends up saving the day by doing stand-up again after, I guess, that 30 seconds where he was really funny gave him the confidence. I'm not really sure.
Was that supposed to be a vision of him meeting Milton Berle? I thought that was supposed to be real, like when he's in the diner, right?
You might be right. I'm really not sure. Because
it
it flashes to him actually like telling jokes in front of everyone, and I thought that maybe he was imagining it in his head.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe not.
I thought that was just supposed to be like a time lapse, like the next day, because Milton Berle he just straight up. It's not like he gives him advice, and it's like, okay, I can be funny now. It's like, here's some jokes that you can tell, and stuff.
Well, okay.
And then he just says them.
I think what the advice, what I thought the advice was meant to be when he was telling it, is that he was telling Adam Sandler that he needed to tailor the jokes to his audience. He was saying, like, why are you saying, these hoodlum, Adam Sandler was joking about hoodlums.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, why are you telling these hoodlum jokes to these beauty contestants? They're not going to think that's funny. So he kind of tells him, like, if you want to make people laugh, you have to find things that they're going to think are funny. And so he tells him some examples of jokes that beauty contestants will like. And then when you flash forward to him actually telling jokes to everyone when he's doing stand-up, none of the jokes are jokes that Milton Berle told him. So I'm not sure like how that advice was meant to help, but apparently he's really funny after that. So I don't know.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
The movie did not take that advice.
No.
So I don't know. We could both be right, honestly. I don't think the movie has a clear answer for that.
Yeah, especially with the whole the movie just being like a movie but also being real. I'm not sure that the people who wrote it even like really know what they were going for there. I think it was just meant to be like funny. And you weren't supposed to think about it too much, but it's just not funny and confusing.
It felt like one of those, we have Milton Berle there, he will be funny, he will just make funny jokes, and then they didn't like write anything for him to do.
Yeah. It honestly felt like the whole movie was meant to be kind of ironic in a funny way, and it wasn't. And I don't know.
I feel like the ironic stuff where he's like talking to the camera and like being like, this joke isn't funny. I think that's them trying to save the movie, because I feel like they probably just in the middle of the movie they're just like, holy shit, this sucks, or we're making a pile of garbage. That's why there's a rock and roll character called like Croker. He goes on stage after Adam Sandler bombs and he starts playing some rock music, but he like plays the entire song, and it just felt like they were trying to fill the runtime. And the same with like just a ton of scenes where they just go on so long and they have no purpose. And it's like they're trying to hit that like 1 minute 30 mark so they can qualify as a movie. And also, I was wondering, why was Milton Berle even in this? Because this man is like a classic famous comedian. Why is he in this like random like direct to VHS piece of shit? And apparently he had very bad gambling debts. So he just kind of took literally everything that they would offer him. So that kind of depressed me a little bit. But it's like reincarnation, right? Milton Berle's career dies while Adam Sandler's begins. You know, it's almost like it's a literal passing of the torch, one could say. I
guess in a very like underwhelming way.
Well, yeah, because it's yeah. It's yeah.
I think my favorite part of the movie were the scenes where Adam Sandler is just talking into the camera, because I was really mesmerized by how bad his acting was. It was like genuinely awful. It
was so bad. I was surprised. Well, I think if you look at any like early Adam Sandler stand-up, he's not like the like he's not like the Adam Sandler we know today. He's like tries to play like very skinny, shy New York kid who just like, I really like this, and this is just how I see the world and stuff.
Girls, I don't like good-looking girls. Kind of intimidate me a little. I get nervous talking to them. I saw this cute girl on the street today. I was with my friend. I said, boy, I wish I could ask her out, but I don't know what to say. My friend said, just ask her out. The worst she can say is no. So I asked her out, and she said, get away from me, you loser. And I was kind of like, I think you broke the rules there, huh?
He also plays up his Judaism in his stand-up that he really doesn't do in a lot of his other movies. Like, his name is literally like Shecky Mouskowitz in this, which feels like it was written on like 4chan or something.
It's ridiculous.
So because of that, I don't feel like his stand-up personality really works in a movie, especially when you're the main character and your joke is that you're not funny. Because then you just become like the most unlikable person on the planet. How does the movie end again? Like, okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Because you just saw it. So
yeah, he agrees to help the terrorist become stand-up comedians. Like, he's gonna write the jokes for them, I guess. So they agree to not kill Miss Australia. Miss Australia, while the chase is going, the terrorists come onto the boat and they're looking for Miss Australia, and Shecky and his friend, what is his friend's name? Bob. Shecky and Bob are running around the ship with Miss Australia, trying to help her hide from the terrorists. And while they're doing this, Bob and Miss Australia, who have never spoken before the entire movie, fall in love. Right. So the end is them. They're together. Shecky is going to help these terrorists become stand-up comedians. And I really don't remember what happened to the general, honestly. And I just watched it. Oh, yeah. Adam Sandler. He gets a girlfriend. A girlfriend in the end. Which it's King Neptune's daughter. Who is named Slimy, who has been watching him from a conch shell the entire time. And they fall in love. And it's a happy ending.
That's wonderful. Does the credits play the one song at the beginning of the movie they play like 3 times in the movie?
I'm not sure, honestly.
That really bad tropical song. Oh, positive about the movie, that animation at the beginning wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
During the opening credits, it was nice. I wish more movies had that now. Little just random 2D animation opening. That was cute.
I also feel the need to mention that they made Adam Sandler's character basically like an incel. Like,
they did.
He has a terrible attitude towards women. He just constantly talks about how he wants to be with women. and he's like the least charming.
He's like, women literally don't love me. They just walk by me, and it's like, what? But then he also acknowledges that he's not funny, so it's like, gee, I wonder why the fuck they wouldn't like you.
There's a lot of like treating women like objects. Not to go there, but that's basically the whole movie.
You think it would be you think it would be better because it's directed by a woman, but
it's not.
I guess sometimes you gotta throw someone under the bus, right?
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Just thinking about like the sheer amount of like things covered in the movie is kind of just interesting to think about, like what they were thinking about when they wrote it. Yeah, like you have terrorism, you have Miss Australia talking about how hard it is to be a beautiful woman. She talks about how hard it is. She wishes she was deformed sometimes because being a beautiful woman is just so difficult.
That's right. Yeah.
And Adam Sandler the whole time is just saying, "Oh, what a bitch! What an idiot!
What an asshole!"
And then complaining that he can't get women.
Right.
So there's that, and then there's the supernatural elements of King Neptune showing up.
Well, is King Neptune real if Milton Berle is not real? What's the deal with that? Maybe nothing's real. Maybe Adam Sandler is he okay, we're changing the plot up, all right? Adam Sandler is like the Joker, right? Where he's like an unfunny comedian who's crazy, and he's imagining all of these scenarios on this boat. Because he's also like it's like the lighthouse, right? He's isolated. And he's just trying to come up with all of these wacky scenarios in his head to make his life more meaningful.
I want to make I'm thinking of ending things reference, but you haven't seen it, so
I haven't seen it yet. No, I was gonna watch it yesterday, but my roommates literally wouldn't shut up, so it wasn't the right time. We can edit in I'm thinking of ending things reference. Okay. In 3, 2, 1, spoilers.
He reminds me of the janitor, and I'm thinking of ending things. Except he has like some sort of like schizophrenia or something, and he's imagining that he is on a cruise ship and King Neptune shows up, terrorists show up. It's very, very odd. The whole movie feels like a fever dream. Okay.
I agree, Allie. That's crazy. I have nothing else to say, I don't think, about this horrendous pile of shit. Do you?
I don't think so, no.
I will say, one of the worst posters of all time.
Oh yeah, it really is.
Literally, like, this is... It looks like a shit Photoshop job, even though it's like just a drawing. Like, what the fuck is this? Why does the floaties take up the entirety of his arm? Why is he squatting? It doesn't make any sense. It's just disgusting. That's not a good vista behind him. The fucking font is horrible. The women's aren't in the back, aren't even like fucking centered, right? And it's a fucking painting, so like I'm not. Their ass is like, okay, whatever. It's drawing, so it's just shit.
And another poster for it. It has the line, "In the world of comedy, it's sink or swim," which I thought was kind of prophetic.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's true. Hold on. The one I'm looking at has the line, "The Love Boat was What the fuck? What does this even say? Hold on. "The Love Boat was never quite like this." Wow. Okay. Damn. They didn't even try.
They really didn't.
Okay. Now, we have come to the rating system. So how this is going to work is me and Allie will each give our scores out of 10, and then we will take the aggregate, and then that will be the official Sandman Chronicles score for this film. Allie, I'm assuming you're giving this a 1 out of 10, yes. Like I am. Yes. Okay, then yeah. So the official rating for Going Overboard from the Sandman Chronicles is a 1 out of 10. Allie, is there any reason anyone has to see this movie, even if you're a big Adam Sandler fan?
If you want to watch Adam Sandler walk around on a boat in short shorts, this is your movie.
That was pretty hot.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. If you want to see Adam Sandler unfunny, there are plenty of other choices other than this one. So, no, I think this is... Yeah, I hope this is the worst. I hope it doesn't get any worse than this, because I don't know how. But, you know, I can always be surprised. Okay, you have survived Volume 1 of the Sandman Chronicles. Next episode, we're going to be looking at Hubie Halloween, the new Netflix film from Adam Sandler. He plays a mentally challenged person, I guess, who's trying to save Halloween. Is it bad? There's only one way to find out, and that's by listening to us instead of watching it yourself and forming your own opinion. But watch it if you want to know what we're talking about. And anything you want to say to the lovely Sandmen out there?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. Goodbye, everybody.